It's not as hot as implied, though I did feel it the next day. Today I'm making Fizban's Fireball Chili from Tika's cookbook in Leaves from the Inn of the Last Home. If you have made this recipe, share your thoughts in the comments below. This recipe had me a little bit scared. I have a hiatal hernia and heartburn comes naturally, so to consume anything hot is literally playing with fire for me. But we had sirloin steak from our butcher and most of the ingredients already, so I threw caution to the wind. This is created in 2 steps, and the first is the marinade. 1 teaspoon Worcestershire sauce, 2 tablespoons of paprika, 1 jar Tabasco sauce. I have to make a note here. There are many different sizes of jars, so I use the 2-ounce option. 1/2 teaspoon Chinese hot oil. This is another vague reference, so I opted for Sunluck chili oil, and 2 teaspoons crushed red pepper. I added the ingredients into a large mixing bowl that could hold more than enough of the already excessive amounts of meat, and cut the sirloin steaks into 1-inch-ish cubes. Again, this recipe says beef, so in the future, if I were to ever make this again, I would use a roast cut rather than a sirloin. However, it did a great job of breaking down the meat for eating, just not shredding it as the recipe suggested it should. I added the cubed sirloin to the marinade and left it in the refrigerator for 2 days. I put the cast iron Dutch oven, which was a much larger container than necessary, over low heat, adding the marinade and sirloin, and left it for 2 hours, stirring every 30 minutes. After 2 hours, I started the roux. I didn't trim any of the tiny amount of fat from the steak, so I used 2 tablespoons of bacon grease instead. We save it whenever we make bacon in a jar next to the stove, so it works perfectly and tastes great. I did put this roux together out of order, so when I added the 1 cup of liquid from the pot to the roux, it didn't blend as well as it should have if done in the proper order. I also didn't use a whisk. The grease should be whisked with 2 tablespoons of flour, then add the pot liquid. I cooked the roux for a few minutes, then added it to the pot, mixing thoroughly. I collected the chili and kept it in a warm bowl until I finished making the flatbread, which is the next recipe I'll be featuring. When the flatbread was done, I divided the chili into 2 portions, which could easily make 3 or 4 if you're not as greedy as I am. And with 2 pieces of flatbread on the side, I added a wedge or 2 of lime squeezed over the chili and a healthy dollop of sour cream. After mixing, it didn't look very pleasant, but it tasted great. The heat was not bad at all, and even too tame for my wife, who loves spicy food. I would definitely recommend this as a variation on a familiar chili dish. Thank you for tuning into this Dragonlance recipe episode. This has been Adam with Dragonlance Saga, and until next time, Slanjavar.